Hello, beautiful friends. It's a very special moment of this cosmic time to be here with you. Yesterday we had the new moon, and so we are embarking upon this amazing journey. We are aligning with whatever nature is telling us to align with, and that is cosmic abundance. And so actually, Divine Mother worked with me all night long, and she had me even deliver what she called a lecture about divine abundance last night in a cosmic school of learning where many of us meet. As science fiction as it sounds, there are many cosmic schools, many beautiful divine schools, and many of us attend. I would say all of us, really. And so you can also experience your own graduation. You can meet with your guides. You can meet with the angelic teachers also. And there's a lot going on. And it's nice to remember, but even if you don't remember, it's all going on anyway. And that's the beauty of it all. And so I gave a lecture last night about divine cosmic abundance, so I hope I remember. So what is happening on planet Earth? Why is abundance so important? And as you have this beautiful prayer here of Saint Francis of Assisi, it is in giving that we receive. So I'll try to do my best to explain everything that I learned from Divine Mother about cosmic abundance. So the number one thing, let us liberate our mind a little bit. We have been part of a system that I believe was born during kind of like a recent time, the Babylonian time. And from what I can tell, there was a being, I will call the being the way that Divine Mother calls the being, and that is the beast of Babylon. And I don't know all the details, Divine Mother didn't give me all the details, but it was the beginning of what I would call the slavery through the monetary system. But actually, the way that I perceive it is that something quite major already happened in Mu, and I will speak about that too. And so we need to first liberate our mind and to go beyond the monetary system. The monetary system is a very poor kind of replica of what cosmic abundance is. It really doesn't do it any justice. So let us just put money aside. We are truly here tapping into something that is a divine quality of abundance. You cannot imagine going into the higher worlds, like when we go to these cosmic schools, and it's going to be $99 to enter, right? This just doesn't happen. A lot of things don't happen in higher dimensions, and yet they function so beautifully. So as I get to travel out of body now and again these days, I get to visit some dimensions that are very highly evolved, and many of us actually are deeply, deeply tied to the dimension that is called Venus. And so in this physical world that we are in so-called third dimension. To be honest, there is nothing wrong with the third dimension. The intention behind the third dimension was that we will simply create a dimension when time and space will be very dense, but there was nothing wrong with that. It was like an artist who is the visionary, let's say from a higher dimension, saying, I want to create something very physical. I want to create a sculpture. I want to paint a painting. I want to have something that looks really, real physically. I want to make it solid. And so the third dimension was created to make solid. It was meant to be a beautiful expression of art. And so the beings who came here at the beginning of all times, you and me really, we said, okay, this is going to be really fun. We'll go into this dimension to create something very physical. This is going to be really cool. We'll take life force from source. Where else would we get it? We will take life force from cosmic Mother Nature, since she's infinite and there's no limit to how much she can give. And then we will use our amazing mind with an open heart. The two have to come together, and an open heart and divine mind. So not the human mind that we know today. And so we said, yeah, that's going to be so easy. We'll step into this beautiful planet. We'll get kind of physical, and we will take these two beautiful life force sources. And of course, as they run through the heart, as they run through the mind, thank you, actually, Gergo, for sharing that with me. I know you know all the teachings of Yogananda. Yes, this was supposed to be beautiful. This is what Divine Mother always says. One sentence she repeats again and again. She always says, Adi, this was all meant to be beautiful. So the intention was very beautiful. So I'll tell you the intention and what went wrong and how to fix it. And so we came here and we said, okay, of course, infinite abundance is what God is. It's what Divine Mother is. It's what Creator is. And we know how to inhale it. We know how to exhale it. It was supposed to be inhale, exhale creation. And this is really important. That's why we talk about the sacred breath. The sacred breath is what returns us to this original flow, the original design. We are here to restore the original design. You know, I've never explained this before, so I'm just taking everything that, you know, kind of was given last night. But hopefully, as we work together every day, more and more clarity will be delivered. So bear with me. It was all meant to be inhale, exhale. That means we inhale, and not just through the lungs, we inhale through our being, through the heart, actually, through the higher mind. We receive, we take in life force. Life force is always abundant, infinitely given to all, with no limit. So this is the original intent. We take it in, it goes into the sacred heart that we often speak about. This is the most sacred, the holy of the holies within us. It goes in, it touches our heart, which used to be 100% pure. It used to be just, you know, an open portal of love. We used to be just loving beings. There was no room for anything but love, which again is what we are returning to as the design of the new earth, nothing but love. And so as we were nothing but love, and yet we were all unique when it came to our tone. The tone of creation within you is unique. We are one big cosmic orchestra, all of us, all the beings upon beings. And so this life force comes in, it touches your heart, which is so wonderful. It ignites your higher mind, which, you know, many are disconnected from. That is the divine mind of God, which is only oneness, which is only light, which is only good. There is no duality within that mind. We now have a split brain. As you know, we have the right and left being very different from each other, but we used to function on just oneness. So even the brain functioned differently when we actually did have a, you know, the physical brain, but we also had a spiritual brain before. And so this comes in, and you then exhale it again, not through the breath itself, meaning the lungs, but it is the rhythm of your being. It is the inhale and exhale of your being, which is the rhythm of all creation. Even God is in the rhythm of inhale, exhale. It is the pulse of creation. So we too were in this pulse. So it comes in, it touches you, it comes out of you. And every time it would come out of you, the original design, it would come out of you multiplied. Now, this is the beauty of it, you know? So hopefully that made sense. This is the original design. Again, I have those animations that I like to show. So beautiful flow. You see no obstruction to this flow. There is no limitation to that flow. And the more you are able to take in, the more you give out. It is so simple, so beautiful. Now, what happened? Why did this, fail? Did it really fail? Well, as beautiful as we used to be on Mu, we also had the visitation from other beings. And I remember seeing those beings. And I always say the only way I can describe it is I was so appalled when I saw these beings who just appear out of nowhere. I call them the beings who came from elsewhere. They looked different. They were so unconscious. You looked at them and they just didn't at all feel life force. They were so disconnected from life force. They just were looking at how to grab something, how to really just take. And this is how I can best describe them. And this was like a personal experience I had. So many of you might deep down remember the arrival of these beings to planet Earth. And many say it was by design. Patricia Cota-Robles said we agreed to it. I don't remember who agreed to what. All I know that suddenly these guys came. And it was very heartbreaking for us, actually, because we were beings of love. Now, if you are a being of love, you only know love. You do not know unconsciousness at all. You don't know exploitation because you yourself do not exploit anything. You don't know limitation because you are in the flow of divine light and love, and there is no limitation. You know exactly where to get your life force. You know exactly how it flows. And so this is you and me at the beginning of all things. This is flawless. This is impeccable design. So if it is so, I'm going to trust what Patricia said, that apparently we agreed to bring through these beings into planet Earth. Then, man, that was what an agreement. So as you know, we got overwhelmed, and who wouldn't get overwhelmed? So I trust that all of you know exactly what it's like to be super loving, super kind, super gentle, super tender, super peaceful. So if you are all of that, which I also think many of our Aboriginal nations also were, so that's why they suffered so much through this arrival of, for example, colonization. So in a way, this was colonization of Mu. So when these unconscious beings came through, they kind of just took over us. And as you can imagine, when you are a super peaceful being, you don't go and fight. You don't know what to do. You're not used to this kind of energy. And so that's exactly what happened. So ever since then, we had really, what I would say, these unconscious beings kind of made us all a little toxic, and we kind of almost turned into them in many ways. And so it became the dominant, really, unconsciousness on planet Earth. And everything that came from it is what we today would call a problem. So, yeah. So the way that I perceive it, it was really, if you are not a person who fights, you're not going to go and fight. And so you will submit to it with deep sadness. And I think kind of, that's what we can see what happened during colonization that we recently had on planet Earth, of course, of the Aboriginal tribes and native people as well. They didn't fight back, or if they did, it also was not victorious for anyone really, except for the unconscious beings who came to take and exploit. So taking, exploiting, and really using not only people, resources, the earth, Mother Nature, was actually all that came from these unconscious beings who then became the dominant majority, really, and what we would call leading majority, but I would not call it leadership. And so all the systems that were born out of this unconsciousness, we still have today, and those all will be dissolved. But it is up to these rainbow children that you and me are to actually stand our ground and not to become submissive again, because we actually did become kind of, what else are you going to do? But this time we are supposed to stand in our divine power. And so we are doing that. That's why, for example, we are working with Patricia. That's why we are doing all these activities. That's why everybody is doing this. And yeah, Taya Rain, many of you are studying with Taya. I haven't actually finished reading the book just yet, just have very little time. But definitely the breathing practices she teaching, they are so amazing. I love them. So anyone who wants to sign up with Taya, I made a little video for her. I posted it on YouTube, Learning to Breathe Again. Why do we learn to breathe? Is so that we are liberating our being. And we have learned some beautiful breathing techniques. So I'll get back to that. But so today, the system that we have within us now is burdened. For most of us, it is absolutely burdened by something, whether it is lineages upon lineages where so many of our ancestors didn't have abundance, or they thought abundance can only come through money and possessions, or, many ancestral lines actually constantly just lived in the unconsciousness of lack, thinking abundance is just really something that comes from the outside to us from this world. But that is actually not true at all. So let me go to this. I wanted to look at first, how abundance comes to us truly and what abundance is. So Divine Mother and our Source Creator, our Father God, are infinitely offering abundance to all creation equally. There is no one who gets more unless they are able to open up to more themselves. Hence, it is up to us. And so, for me, seeking abundance is not actually the right direction to take, but actually seeking our connection, our true connection. And this is what Divine Mother told me last night too. Seek the connection with your Divine Mother, Father, whatever we want to call it. I definitely relate to Divine Mother because I see her as a person. With the Father, I always see him as more just the light, the eye of God sometimes, the sun, and actually like creator source. So that's the best way I can describe him. And so when we seek them first, when we seek that light first, and personally, and this came last night too, we have so many wonderful religions in this world, and I think they all had a really wonderful intention behind them. But many religions, if not all, are based in something that I would call a belief. People are very satisfied when they say, I believe in God, and that's nice. But actually, what is really important is to seek beyond belief, to actually seek first the confidence within you, to align with Divine Mother, Father, God in a way that you actually have first contact. It sounds like aliens, but to have contact with God. And again, I always say, maybe I have contact with Divine Mother when I'm just, person who is totally, living a normal life, the human life, so that I can tell others and say, you too have it within you, because if I can do it, you can do it. And many of you already met Divine Mother and Father God. So I'm just saying, because to me, it's more believable then. Meaning, if she could do it, surely I can do it too. And that means, when I look at Yogananda, I go like, of course, Divine Mother came to him. Of course, Babaji was one with her, because, these divine beings, they are these avatars. So that's their nature. But if we can do it as, I don't want, what should we call ourselves? Humans? The human beings here that we are. And so Divine Mother will respond to you, whatever it is, whatever it takes. Just call upon her every day until she comes to you. The same with our Father, Creator, with really the eye of God, with, he told me the other day to call him Creator God, so I call him Creator now. And so when we seek them first, and this is huge, exactly, the effort, and really I put in the email that I sent today, I've been working with Oren for so many years, and it only gets better every single day. I would not want to be stagnant, because the layers upon layers upon layers that we can shed to a point where we can have these amazing encounters, and it changes us. So I'll speak for about 8 more minutes, and then we'll go into meditation. And every day will be the same. I'll try to keep it within the hour like we always do. So from my experience, when we, for example, everybody, heard about manifesting. We had such a big kind of, everybody was into manifesting. So I want to speak about that. Divine Mother speaks about creating, not manifesting. Manifesting, really, for example, everybody got so excited about manifesting parking spaces. But why is that? It is because no one that I know has a resistance within them that would say you can never get a parking spot. Everybody has experienced getting a parking spot when they want it, need it. And so with no resistance, of course, everybody's going to be successful. The thing is that when it comes to things like what we call money and abundance that we would like to have in our life, I think many people will come with some baggage. And even if they don't have any baggage, probably ancestors had baggage. And so first we want to remove all the baggage before we truly become free. Freedom is actually the key. So how do we create instead of manifest? Manifestation to me will fail very often the way that it is taught in this world. Creation is our divine purpose. So how do we really uncover actually our divine purpose? Well, number one, let us first step into our divine being that we all are designed to be. When Jesus said, "You all are gods," he was referring to this. This is a godlike being, fully ignited. As you know, this is absolutely happening through us right now anyway. Some people call it the rainbow body, some people call it the diamond rainbow body. It's pretty much what it is. Divine Mother referred to it last night as the diamond rainbow body too, so I'll just repeat what she said. So this is our restoration of our old design that the earth remembers, and she is now working through us all to make this possible, of course. So what does this require? This is a state of liberation. This is a state of freedom. And this freedom can only come through the heart. Now, because we've lived in a civilization that kept repeating a lot of things and it became meaningless, it was just a phrase. It is all about love. And we all heard it is all about love. Okay, it is true. It is all about love. But let us really deeply ponder upon the meaning of why it is all about love. Well, it is all about love because creation is based upon the principle of love. And without love, without the deepest, most mind-blowing, strongest, radiant, divine love, there is no connection between creation and the Creator. And so we live in a world that disconnected because it disconnected from love. And when a world disconnects from love, it also disconnects from direct knowing of who the Creator is, who Divine Mother is. And that's why we needed religions here, because there was this disconnect. But it is up to us to make the greatest effort of all efforts, and that is to liberate the Sacred Heart for this divine love. For some people, that's just a breath away. For other people, it's many layers away. It really is up to us. So we will be guided every single day to increase our ability to tap into this amazingness within us. Also, and again, I don't know many biblical quotes, but let me search in my conscious mind to find some. So we all are gods, meaning we are all designed this way. And when Jesus said the queendom, I'm going to say queendom of heaven is within you, this is what he meant as well. We can only discover the queendom, the kingdom, God, Divine Mother, through this design of the Sacred Heart. This energy cannot actually flow without the Sacred Heart being open. So we have many mystics who search through, let's say, practices and intellect, teachings, but the simplest way to find is to first find an open Sacred Heart. So it is within you, of course. Now, another great quote from Uncle Jesus. It is only when we are innocent like children that we can actually enter the queendom of heaven, the kingdom of our Father God as well. Sorry for so many biblical quotes, but they are good because they explain this. Because this is the innocent heart of your childlike nature, which was not burdened by anything yet. For some people, this is very early childhood. For some people, they had a wonderful, playful childhood where the parents were good guardians and all conditions were great, no baggage from childhood. So as long as the Sacred Heart was kept open by the guardians, then you had this flow. The flow actually stops, of course, when we become socialized and culturalized and when stuff happens in our life. So from my memories of this lifetime, we came here with this amazing design, but it is through life that it got shut down, of course. So what is it within you and me? We need to search within, right, to open the Sacred Heart. Sometimes it pops open. And this was my experience. This is the last thing I shared because that's the only reason I actually know how this works. It is through experience. If I was telling you something I read, then it would not work. But I know that we can transmit this when we experience this. So for me, this popped open one day during long meditations at Mount Shasta. It was in 2020, and it was also supported, of course, by the Lionsgate, which was very powerful in 2020. It was the most powerful I've ever experienced, actually, myself. And it was the night when actually our divine self, as you know, got downloaded into us. To me, unforgettable. Again, that's the only reason I can speak about it, because I saw it, I experienced it, and I woke up my husband, not because I would shake him, you know, like, oh, wake up, wake up. It's because I was downloading my divine self, and my divine self was making all sounds and clicking and very excited. So, so that's how I know it was really happening too. And so this beautiful divine self got downloaded into us. And as you know, this is the circle of the 12. We'll explain this another day. But when we work with the 10th solar aspect of deity, the clicking is amazing. Yeah, it's the sound of the serpent, actually. And so many native people in African tribes, for example, they still use the clicking when they are connecting to God. It's a very interesting thing. And so gold is the 10th solar aspect of divinity. You see it up here and on the left. And so when we work with, and gold, you know, it's so beautiful. It is the aspect of eternal peace, prosperity, abundance, and God's supply of all the good things. And this is what we will be creating here together. So every day we'll add a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more practice. So when this happened to me that one night, during this amazing Lionsgate, and you know, many of us choose different portals within the earth when we come into this world. So I came into this world during the Lionsgate, so for me that was a very special, you know, solar return as well. And so it reconnected, and the only way I can describe it is that my sacred heart popped open. Just a moment. So the sacred heart popped open, and I was meditating really all day. And so in the middle of the night, it opened up. I felt the opening of it. It kind of cracked open. And then this magnetic flow came through the top, the crown, but it also came through the spine up into the heart. And I felt the ultimate presence of Divine Mother, Father, God within me, as if they kind of reconnected in my heart. And because I opened my heart somehow, it actually brought them together in the heart. And I think for those of you who are yogis and mystics, you heard about this. Many yogis call this the dance of Shiva Shakti. They say they dance on our head. I don't know if they dance on our head, but they definitely connect in the heart. Now, this changed everything. And just a few more minutes before we go into meditation, I just want to say how important this is. This is the experience we all have within us. It's the possibility of it. But the sacred heart has to go back to the innocent childhood heart that we used to have. This is what I just felt like when it happened. I remembered everything, what it used to be like a child, how we were different. And we forget, but there was something about being in a physical body. There was this sensation that I forgot that we used to have as children. And so then this Shiva Shakti energy came in, and some people describe it as if they started to make love. And again, I don't think that's the way I would describe it, but they definitely do merge within you. So you as the child make it possible for them to reconnect. And what's really reconnecting is the magnetic flow of the negative, you know, negative kind of like magnetic negative pole, and the magnetic positive pole. So you become the meeting point for these two magnetic forces to come together. So I really think this is kind of that it naturally is triggered when the sacred heart opens, and these energies simply suddenly can meet within you, because they are always destined to meet anyway, but they meet in you through you. So I think this is our design, and that's how the rainbow body gets activated. So when this rainbow body got activated, it actually was full blown without actually getting any smaller, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger for weeks upon weeks till it grew into the size of the earth. So then I knew that actually we can carry the earth within our rainbow body, and that's pretty unbelievable. And I heard from some of you, dear friends here, that actually the rainbow body can cover even the solar system and expand to a universe and so on, according to Yogananda. So that's amazing. But my absolute realization when this happened was that when this happens to us, we restore this original design of absolute freedom. Nothing is needed. And this was the strangest sensation that I can describe. Nothing is needed. You exist beyond needs in this state. There is no need that you have that this world could satisfy. I mean, nothing. Now, the way that it showed up for me was that I was experiencing this complete unlimited freedom, totally untouched by this world. Just like, what Jesus again said, I guess, be in this world, but don't be of this world. When you are in this state, you are not of this world, and you suddenly have no needs. And I mean, you realize that nothing in this world is needed for you to be perfect, meaning perfectly divine like this. So this is the work we will be doing here. And because I hold this pattern within my rainbow body, I will be transmitted it as we work together and meditate so that everyone can be ignited. And I ask Divine Mother that this is so. I spoke to her this morning so that we all can experience this real freedom. This is real freedom. It's only when we realize it like this that it actually makes sense. Until then, it doesn't really even make sense. And so, very beautiful. So the work that we will do here has a lot to do with world peace, and then let's go and meditate. Peace and abundance are deeply, deeply, deeply connected. And Divine Mother wanted me specifically to mention this. When we create abundance, we also are creating world peace. And world peace is a very, very mystical condition for our contact with God for this world. So enough said, let us go and meditate. So we are using, as always, I want to recommend, of course, the work that I have done with Oren that led me to all these breakthrough experiences, and that is, it's called Creating Money. So let's accept the title. And I know that in this world, we still have money, so we still actually work with money. So that too, if that's something you would like to work with, will be fulfilled here. But also think in big terms of cosmic abundance, of all this amazing energy. Beautiful, beautiful. The books are so great, and I actually meditated with Oren this morning, and it's just amazing. So for those of you who have this album, you know that it is important to be magnetic. And Yogananda often spoke about divine magnetism. So today we will be building our divine magnetism. Woohoo! I'm excited. So I hope you really enjoyed this beautiful magnetizing yourself. Of course, being magnetic is amazing. And for those of you, I always say, if you already have amazing abundance, there's always more, because it is in giving that we receive. You can then start amazing projects for Divine Mother and really make this world a better place. But also, it doesn't have to be anything to do with money. You can be asking for abundance of divine powers, your cities. You can be asking for abundance of connection with your Mother, Father, God. You can be asking for all the superpowers. You can be asking for the power to transmit divine energy, and so on and so on. So there is a lot to be inspired by. So the next few days, I will be teaching everything that Divine Mother told me to teach. And I received quite a bit even during this meditation. And so where do we start today, for example? Let's start. It's going to be kind of our homework until tomorrow. Or if you again meet at 5 p.m. today, we'll repeat this again. We'll always do 11 and 5 p.m. And I highly do recommend getting this album, and you understand why, this course. So we will work from new moon, which was yesterday, until full moon. And then we have a break. And during the break, never take a break from your divine work, of course, but you will be able to work with this every day. It's amazing to be magnetic, of course, and the more magnetic you are, the more you can draw to you to actually be of service to others. And so here you see on the cover the beautiful coil, as she, I call her she because to me it's very much the energy of Divine Mother, this magnetism of love. It is magnetic love that draws everything to us. I will post this replay on YouTube, and every day I'll post a replay, but it will not have the meditation, of course, because that is copyrighted. And so definitely that's why I say, you know, get the course if you can. It's $49.95, so super cheap again. And so let us know that it is magnetic love that makes us actually magnetic. And it is love that draws everything to us. It's very simple. The goal is, of course, as always, to make ourselves available to this divine love. Love, and this is the most important thing, love is the ultimate opening force within us. It opens us up. Nothing opens us up like love does. And so when we open up to love, through love, love and all that she is delivered onto us. So it's very simple, but it takes some practice. So thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you either at 5 p.m. today or tomorrow once again, same time, same place. So thank you. Many blessings to all.